here we have an example. We're going to have to find 4 different things. So let's see. It says, consider the parabola given by the equation f of x equals x squared minus 14x plus 3. Find the following for this parabola. So, the first thing it asks, we want to find the value of f of negative 1. This means we want to see what is the y value when x is negative 1. All right. So find f of negative 1. This means you're going to substitute negative 1 for all the x's in the function. And then you just simplify. Negative 1 squared gives you positive 1. Negative 1 times negative 14 times negative 1 gives you positive 14. Plus 3. We add left to right. 1 plus 14 gives you 15, plus 3, 18. So the value of f of negative 1, so I'm sorry, I'm saying that wrong. So when x is negative 1, the y value is 18. All right. So part B says find the vertex. So whenever you're looking for the vertex of a parabola, you want to use this formula to first find the x value of the vertex. And consider this to be, based on this, remember the standard form of a quadratic is this. It doesn't want to write. All right. So A, B, C means A is 1, B is negative 14, and C is 3. So using that information, I'm going to first find out the x. So this is negative times a negative 14 times 2 times a 14 divided by 2 gives me 7. Remember, a negative times a negative is a positive. Now to find the y value of the vertex, because the vertex is a point, all right, we're going to substitute that into the actual function. So we're going to do what we just did for part A. So now I'm going to say f of 7 equals 7 squared minus 14 times 7 plus 3. This gives me 49, and I do not know what that is, nor I want to stress about it. And now we're going to add or subtract left to right. 49 minus 98 plus 3 gives me negative 46. So the vertex is a point. So the point is 7 comma negative 46. This is the vertex of this parabola. All right. Make sure we know our formula. Very important. And remember, once you know this, you're going to substitute it here to find the y value. All right. What is the next question? The y-intercept is the point. Oh, this is an easy one. You're going to like this one. So part C is the y-intercept. So we have, let's just go back. I'm sorry. Back. So you have the function f of x equals x squared minus 14x plus 3. Well, you're looking for the y-intercept, all right? You wanted to substitute 0 for the x in order to find the y-intercept. Check this out. This is going to be 0. 0 here, plus 3. 0 squared is just 0. Negative 14 times 0 is just 0. Plus 3 is just 3. So when x is 0, the y is 3. So the y-intercept is the point 0, 3. You really didn't need to do this part here, but it's good for you to see the work. All right. Then we're going to do part D, and then you got a break with part C, but part D is a little bit more low. So for part D, if I'm not mistaken, we're looking for the x-intercept at this time. So that is, let's confirm that. Find the two values of x that makes f of x 0. And round your answer to 2 decimal places. So the x-intercept comes from, we're going to set y equal to 0, and we're going to solve. This problem here is not factorable, so we're going to use the quadratic formula to solve. Yeah, it's nice when they're factorable, but no factors of 3 will add to 14. So we're going to use the quadratic formula. A is 1, B is negative 14, and C is 3. Let's go ahead and substitute those values. We have x equals negative 14 plus or minus the square root of negative 14 squared minus 4 times minus 4 AC. Yes, AC. I got blanked out there for a minute. I think I want to eat something sweet again, even though I already ate something sweet. That's why I say again. And negative times a negative gives you a positive. Inside the square root, we're going to work one at a time. So negative 14 squared gives you positive 196. And then we're going to say negative 1 times 4. I said that backwards, and I wrote that backwards. No, is it? Did I wrote that good? You double check it. I did. Negative 4 times 1 is negative 4. Times 3 gives you negative 12. And then 2 over here. And then we're going to minus the 12 from the 96. And that gives you 184 over 2. Two values of x, right? So this is going to give you a positive 1 and a negative 1. So we're going to have 14 plus square root of 184 over 2. And 14 minus square root of 184 over 2. It wants us to round to 2 decimal places. So let's see. I'm doing one at a time. 14 plus square root of 184. Then I take that number and divide it by 2. It gives me 13.7823 and a few more decimals. So when I round that 13.78, the next number is a 2, which will not change the 8. So it stays as 13.78. Then I go to the second one. Then I do 14 minus the square root of 184. Gives me a decimal. Then I divide it by 2. And then I have 0.2176 and a few more decimals. The 7 changes the 1, so it becomes 0.22. And there you have your two values of x. All right. Now we can write as a, I don't have space, that's something else. I'll write it right over here. So you have 13.78, 0. That's if you write as a coordinate point. And 0.22, 0. All right, so you have the two values of x and here as our coordinate points.